Hi there, welcome back. Today's video is going to be completely different than what I usually do in the fact that it's not at all related to MTurk. This is actually related to another type of work from home job that I've come across that I really wanted to share with everybody out there because I do think it's a great opportunity that probably wouldn't have otherwise come up except for COVID, or at least come up so fast in the quantities that it's come up. So this is something that I've been wanting to do for a while, which is talk about other work from home opportunities or other ways that to supplement income that are realistic, that are real, that aren't, like these gurus or nothing like that. It's just the basic stuff you can do to earn money to put food on the table. And so if people are interested in that, will you please leave me a comment and let me know what types of information you're looking for and what I can do really to help you. So this video is about something called contact tracing. And what it is essentially is contacting via phone. So if you're phone shy, you might have to work up the courage or really think about it. But if you're not phone shy and you really like talking to people and can be empathetic, since these people have been diagnosed with COVID, I suggest you give this a try. So, what you're doing is you're contacting people who have been diagnosed with COVID and you're working through tracing, which means trying to establish and get in contact with the people they've been in contact with, which those folks become an at risk of infection pool of people. So, uh, it's really something that wouldn't have come up for COVID, but here we are. So let me give you some information on these jobs. I'm going to give you some specific links to the jobs, which will be in the description. I will give you the ability I'll give you the search terms you need to have the ability to search on Google for other jobs. And then I'm going to give you one last piece of data that I think, if you're really interested in this, that you'll find interesting. But that's for the end. All right, so let's dive right in here. At a high level, many, if not all, I don't ever want to say all because then somebody will be like, I saw one that wasn't. Many of the positions are remote, if not all of them. Okay, every single one I've seen is remote. And given the status of things right now, that's not surprising. But at the same time, you may come across one that isn't remote. Most of them are. Most of them are work from home positions. Most, if not all, are hiring very, very urgently. They're bringing on a large quantity of people very, very fast. I've seen people get hired into these jobs in less than 7 days. If they have all their ducks in a row and their information together, people are getting brought on really, really quick. Generally, again, this is a general assessment of what I've seen. No experience is required and no college degree is required. There is a GED high school degree requirement on almost all of them. Aside from them, certain different job listings do say you need certain things, and I go into that a little bit here. But for the most part, they're not looking for a high level of experience in any arena. So I think it's really quite possible that people from all different levels of experience could come in and do this job. The pay is what I consider to be reasonable, if not on the high end of reasonable. The average is about $20 to $21 per hour, but I've seen as low as 18 and up to 25. So compared to what a lot of people are making on MTurk, this is pretty good pay. Some do require you to have your own equipment to be used, and each job listing will specify the equipment, whether it can be a Windows, can it be Mac, and the version of this, and what software you need. Some suggest things like a headset. So each one is a little bit different. You're going to have to zero in on the ones you want to apply for and decide from there if you have the appropriate equipment of what they're asking for. Some do have residency requirements. This one is actually the minority. I think I saw one from a deco that insisted on the state of New York residency, but other than that, I haven't seen too many that insist on specific residency aside from the United States. Some, and again in the minority, are asking for some sort of medical background. It appears to be very loose. So if you worked as a receptionist in a doctor's office, or you did medical transcription or medical coding or anything of that nature, I think you could easily say you have some medical experience. So I think, again, I find it to be a pretty loose requirement and not a hard and fast requirement in most of the descriptions that I've seen. Some, and not all, some include benefits. And I've seen anywhere from the benefits kicking in immediately to 30 days and 30 days into the job. And most of these jobs do seem to be mid to long term. So definitely a lot of opportunity to make money here and get benefits too if that's something you need. And lastly, being multi or bilingual is absolutely a benefit. As you can imagine, some of the people demographically that will be called may not speak English. So having people that speak various other languages is going to be a big plus. So if you are bilingual or multilingual, definitely put that first and foremost when you send in your information, because they're going to be looking for that. I can pretty much guarantee you. Okay, so we're going to go on here. As I said, I've put the links to these different job listings into the description of this video for you to just click right through and find it, okay? These are the companies that I've seen that have ads up. So it's Adecco, Applied Mathematics, you said I can't say that, LLC, Delta Group, Randstad, Robert Half, Kelly Staffing. You've probably heard all these names before, and that's because they're staffing agencies. And so all these, my impression in having worked in corporate America, these, you know, this group and this job is coming up really fast. So a lot of these companies don't have the manpower to bring on thousands of people at one time. So they're augmenting that ability by going to the staffing agencies. So don't worry if you aren't familiar with it or you see that it's not directly related to the particular company that you'd actually be working for. It's just the relationship they need to scale up fast. So again, don't worry about that. So if you don't find anything among the links that I put in the description here to search for jobs on your own, you can search for contact tracing, epidemiology, or contact tracing COVID, or epidemiology COVID, things like that. So just get those code words in there into Google and you're going to start finding jobs. I can absolutely promise you. I spent about, let's say it'd been about a half an hour gathering links before I recorded this, because I was really eager to get this information out to folks since it is moving very fast. So I came up with 6 in about a half an hour. You could probably come up with 10, 12 more if you wanted to sit down for an hour or so, do that. Now, if you're sure you want to do this, or even if you're not 100% sure you want to do it because you're not sure what you'd be doing exactly, there are 2 free trainings, completely free, that you can take, that you'll get a certificate at the end, and you can add that certificate to your information that you'll give to potential employers. And again, I think that would really bump you to the top of the list because you've already done the majority of the training. So there's ASTHO, contact tracing. You can Google that and you'll find the course. And then Coursera, contact tracing, which I'm going to actually show you that one right here. Okay. So what you're going to do is go to the Coursera website, and I will send you a link to the course. It's completely free. You do need to sign up with an account, but it's completely free. You don't have to pay for it. And this is the type of stuff that you'll be learning. So you can see that it's an estimated 5 hour and 27 minutes of effort. So, if that's something you don't want to put the time in for, completely understandable, but just know that essentially once you're in this job, if you were to take it, to apply for it and accept it, you're basically going to end up doing this training. So if you're going to do it, you're going to do it at one point or another. And I highly suggest you do it before, because employers are just going to be like, great, this person's taken the training, they go to the top of the list. So the types of things you'll be learning: the basics of COVID-19, contact tracing, steps to investigate cases and trace contacts, ethics, technological tools, effective communication, and then a final graded assessment, which will give you either a printout or a screenshot that you can send to those employers to let them know you did it. So, it's rare, I think, for those that have been working from home for a while, I think it's rare to have a training that's so laser focused on what you would be doing in the job, but COVID really necessitates it. So it's a great opportunity for people who are interested in this job to go ahead and do the training and be super duper prepared for the job itself, because my impression is once you get hired on, it's going to move very, very fast. This is information you're going to want to have. If you're not 100% sure, sign up for the course. Again, it's free, and start at the beginning, and see if it's something that you might be interested in doing, and spend maybe an hour or two looking at it and see what you think. So that's it. Again, this isn't the usual content that I put out there, but if you like it, I have all sorts of information that comes to me all the time, and I'd really like to share it with folks. But again, I don't want to stray too far from MTurk, but I think both could really coincide on this channel. And I think I'd set up playlists so that if you're not interested in it, you're not going to be bombarded with it, and you'd know right where to go to get it. So again, I'd really be interested if people like this type of stuff or not. What do you want to see? What don't you want to see? But always remember that most likely I'm not going to be straying too far from MTurk as long as MTurk exists. So